Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today?
Good.
How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We
It's
have
time
arrived.
to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We
It's
have
time
arrived.
to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. All right. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing? Welcome back from the weekend. Lots of stuff to cover today. Stay tuned. I am going to tell you some things that are going to really blow your mind. All right. Let's get started here with the information about our cosmic weather out there. Cosmic weather is what I like to call, this is for the new listeners, new viewers. Cosmic weather is a combination of what I like to think of as the energy around us. So I look at the planets, the stars, the Mayan Oracle, space weather, the energy around us, because everything in the universe is energy. If we know how it works, if we know what's going on around us, it helps us to understand where we are and what we're dealing with. So today, we're at the 4th of November, and we've got two signs that we look at and concern ourselves with, the sun sign and the moon sign. The sun sign at the moment is in Scorpio. It's going to be for a little bit longer yet. Scorpio is a water sign. So what we're concerned with is the element, water. Okay? Scorpio represents things that are buried way deep down in the water. The water can represent our consciousness, our subconscious. Water can represent emotions and feelings. So we have emotions, feelings, things buried way deep in our unconscious. So when they're brought up, think about things that are down deep in the ocean or deep in the lake in the water. Sometimes things are buried so far down there that when they come up, you don't quite recognize and know what they are because you're not used to seeing them. They've been buried deep. They come to the surface, and then we can start to deal with them, figure out what they are. That's the same thing with these emotions and things that are buried deep. That's why the idea of Scorpio and darkness exists, because it's just something buried way, way deep down inside. Just like the planets, Pluto, that is a planet that is involved with Scorpio, is way deep out there in the solar system. Okay? So we've got Scorpio, we're dealing with water sign. That's our conscious mind. Our conscious mind is how we think in the world, what we consciously experience on a day-to-day basis. The unconscious mind, the other part of the mind, is what's going on underneath. When we dream at night, we access our unconscious mind. So the unconscious mind is dealing with this moon sign here. We're making a transition from this sign, which is the sign of Scorpio, which is a water sign, and we're going to go into the sign of Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. And that transition is going to take place this afternoon. 2:14 p.m. Pacific time is when that aspect occurs. And right now we're in that transition phase. So we're going to go from water emotions into fire ideas, creativity, the truthfulness of ideas. The Sagittarian is the one who shoots the arrow of truth. It is dealing with higher education, higher learning, wanting to expand and really learn more about a particular situation, expand those ideas of truthfulness out into the world, okay? So we've got that going on tonight. We've got a square. We have two symbols or ways in which the planets interact with each other that we're concerned about, squares and triangles. A square is a block, a lesson we have to get by, whereas a triangle is a nice harmonious energy that's going on. So here we have a square between the moon, which in this case tonight will be Sagittarius, and here we have this symbol which is for Neptune. Okay, so we have fire is in a square with Neptune. So ideas, creativity at odds with Neptune, which challenges us to take a new perspective. Okay, in tarot cards, this Neptune would be related to the card of the Hangman, which means the suspended mind. We suspend our mind, look at things in a new perspective. So whatever ideas we're dealing with, we're going to be challenged later to look at them differently. Look at them differently, that we might be able to expose the truth of the situation. And the whole idea is when we can get past these blocks that are in our lives, things get really good. Things become better than they were because we've learned a great lesson. Okay? So that's what's going on there today. Our moon phase, we just began a new moon yesterday. As a matter of fact, we had that solar eclipse yesterday and the new moon. So today, here we are at 2% of the way full, making our way up to the full moon. You can tell which way you're going, whether it's waxing or waning. A waxing moon means you're going from a new moon to a full moon, and a waning moon is when you go from a full moon back down to a new moon. So you got wax on, wane off. Wax on, wane off. Got it? Good. Moving on. Mayan Oracle. This is the Mayan calendar. It's dealing with a number of different parts of the calendar. The Volcano is very important to it, and it's a Mayan calendar, but it's kind of been advanced along a little bit. This is the work of Jose Arguelles, and what he's done is made some course corrections in the system here. I like this process and of what he does, what he explains anyway. Today in the system here, it's a 5-tone day. There are 13 tones in a row, and they repeat over and over at the end of every 13. They come in patterns of wave spells. Here's a 13-day wave spell, and every wave spell is coded according to the theme of the first one. So here is the dragon. So these are 13 days about the dragon, or what the dragon represents, in this case birth. Today we're at the 5th position, which is the serpent. The serpent is all about life force energy, survival instinct. So we have this overtone serpent guided by the skywalker above it, which is about exploration, space. And then we have energies around it which help support that, with the wizard, which is timelessness, the eagle, which is vision. This is our challenge. This is our like-mindedness, and our hidden power is the warrior within us. Okay? The phrase for today is I empower in order to survive, commanding instinct. I seal the store of life force with the overtone tone of radiance. I am guided by the power of space. And then, of course, we look at here our Zulkin, and we can see where we are on the matrix here. All right? Let's go over to spaceweather.com. We see our solar wind is currently at 431.9 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is in the range of 2. Got some coronal holes here. We know we got some wind heading our way over the next couple days. We'll see how that hits us. If it does, how we are affected. And then, of course, M-class flare possibilities at 40%, 45, X-class at 10. So they both have jumped up a little bit. This was 40 and this was 5 when we last left on Friday. And our geomagnetic storm activity is pretty low as well, all the way down to 1% if you're in the mid-latitudes, and as high as 15% if you get into the high latitudes. All right, here is our report from suspicious observers for today. A little more insight on these areas.
Good morning, folks. Rolando Lagustre using the eye telescope in New Mexico, giving us our shots of the day. Comet ISON, 24 days to perihelion. NASA's JPL orbital diagram was updated November 2nd, and not much changed. But it made me realize that about the time ISON might get hit with that backside CME that we showed yesterday, it's going to go from light to dark blue on the trajectory line at the same time. This is where it punches through Earth's orbital plane, which means that puts the comet in more of the line of fire for that CME. We also see why the trajectory is light blue on the way out. The comet will swing back up through our orbital plane on the far side of the sun during close approach. We are still expecting the comet to light up in a big way, as half of the surface volatiles are unexposed to solar wind. We'll also watch for flare induction and potential global eruptions as the body approaches perihelion. Now, the latest on Bruce Gary's site is they see no forward-facing jet. This is in multiple images. His updates are posted daily. Some of the bigger stories about this comet are a wait-and-see exercise until close approach. My favorite buoy, south of Bali, and his 2 buddies, turned off. This comes 2 weeks after minor deviations set them into event mode. And if you didn't know I had a favorite buoy, please see the video Disturbance Under the Ocean. Something strange is going on beneath the waves. Since that video, these buoys get switched off, moved, data removed, every time we see more seafloor activity. Typhoon Crosa, still aiming at Vietnam, but has been shred and knocked apart, sending most moisture over Japan actually. In addition, you can see to the south that we have major storming developing, 2 systems coming over the Philippines, one after the other. Coming to Australia and New Zealand, where the precip and storms are nothing locals can't handle, but late week through next weekend we will see the bushfire zone actually under isolated flash flood risks. Quite the turn. Lows piecing together and feeding off each other, sending crest after crest into Europe. Major snow coming to the north. Looking at NOAA's American forecast, you see rain coming up and wrapping around the low pressure with snow on the backside of the low. You should be used to that pattern by now, but at present, Lorena in the Pacific is being cannibalized, and adding to that rain and storms heading north up the leading edge, coming around to freeze over the Rockies. Gamma ray burst last night, the southern celestial hemisphere out of Gross. The solar flaring is neither upticking nor quiet. Still have some M flares, one of which may have another one of these weak glancing blows. CME popped in Earth's direction. Looking for more flaring now leaves us in a different position than we've been in for days. The southern Earth-facing group is now turning away and has lost magnetic complexity. Completely. No more delta there. The development up north was born bipolar, and the question here will be one of umbral growth. Leaving us with the incoming beast. The sunspot group hasn't bested a C9.9, and that, as much as anything else, is indicative of the solar magnetic shutdown underlying this maximum, our focus for nearly 2 years. Solar wind showing a weak potential impact this morning, speed and temperature slightly elevated but with lower density, unlikely to be of major effect. Coronal hole is Earth facing directly today. The quake uptick continued with another 6-pointer yesterday and uptick signals in all the right places. Saturn is 24 hours from perfect conjunction with the Sun, and the next coronal holes can be seen heading in on the equator. Got shots of our star to close. That incoming active region is the top watch, along with the seismographs. Eyes open. No fear, it's 6:15 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.
Alrighty. Alright, how do you guys like magic? Y'all like magic out there? I'm not talking about the party magic. I'm not talking about, illusions, kind of things like that. I'm talking about real magic. Well, it exists. And this video I'm going to play, it's a 42-minute video, short of 42 minutes. I'm going to play a part of it today. I might play more of this over the week or hit some others in regards to this subject. But this deals with Kabbalistic magic, okay? And this gentleman, Bill Donahue, is excellent at explaining what is going on with this process here. We've talked about Kabbalistic magic a number of times. Well, I want to explore this and check it out. I think you're going to like this. So here we go.
What we're going to talk about tonight is something called the Kabbala, and why it's interesting for you to begin to learn these things. First of all, if you're a follower of Jesus Christ says ask, seek, knock. Don't sit and let anybody shove anything down your throat. That's why we've gotten this world in the miserable shape that it's in, because we're not looking. We don't understand where these things come from. We just say, well, they said this is the way it is, this is the way it is. It's not the way it is. The Kabbala, okay, is one of the ancient forms of spiritual wisdom, and almost your entire book of Revelation comes out of the Kabbala. In other words, things were written and put into history long before they entered into the book of Revelation, and they were taken directly out of the Kabbala. The Kabbala, now this is interesting, and you must understand this. The Kabbala is unwritten. Unwritten. It is wisdom. It is of the Jewish religion. It is an oral message. It is passed via the spoken word. That's the Kabbala. Passed via the spoken word. It was introduced to the rabbis and became quite popular during the Middle Ages. And during the Middle Ages, when the Middle Ages became the Dark Ages, these people were hunted down by, guess who? The born-again crowd, that's right. They hunted these people down and killed them. Part of the Spanish Inquisition was against Kabbalists because they were mystics, as many of many of the saints were. But the origin of this, the Kabbala coming to Jews, is an interesting thing, because there was a group of Buddhist missionaries who left India, came to the direction of what we call the Holy Land, the Middle East, ran into a bunch of Jewish rabbis, and they sat down and had a conversation, and a lot of wisdom started to flow, and it interjected itseless into a group called the Essenes, very strange cave people who were mystic people and spoke in these strange terms as well. But these are ancient mysteries. And what we're talking about, we want to learn, we want to understand wisdom. Say. We want to begin to try to figure out, and these are very dark things that these people spoke about. And when I say dark things, they're things that don't sit right with a lot of people. They don't sit right with a lot of people today. They're not understood by a lot of people today. They're called dark sayings. Let's go to page 541, if you would, in the Old Testament. And for the rest of you, I'm looking at 541 in those little Bibles. For the rest of you, if you go to the book of Proverbs, okay, and I want to go to chapter 1 of the book of Proverbs, and we'll see something that will instruct you, okay, written many thousands of years ago, in the way that you must go if you're going to understand, say. It says, the Proverbs of Solomon, chapter 1, and it says in verse 2, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. That means to really have a grasp on them, to become enlightened, to become aware and understanding. And verse 6, to understand a proverb and the interpretation. Now this is the part that I want you to see. The words of the wise and their dark sayings. Okay? There you go. This is it. This is why that we have come up so short in trying to establish ourselves in spiritual terms. I hear so many people, say, well, religion does a lot of good. They help the poor people. There should be no poor people. Oh, they feed people that are hungry. There should be no hungry people. Say, as long as there's a necessity of a religion to help poor people, then I want to know who is keeping those people poor and who is requiring those people to have to ask for. There is plenty. Remember we were talking the other day? There's not enough money for people to have that are out of work. There's not enough money for people to have food. Yet when there's need for a war, all of a sudden there's billions of dollars to shoot missiles all over the place. So that's Antichrist. Whether you call it, whether it's supported, you want to pray for the boys or pray for victory, that's Antichrist. There cannot be money by the billions. I don't mean just, you know how each one of those missiles to launch could feed an army. See? And you have people in Atlantic City, you have people all over the place, poor people, oppressed people, hurt people. And the simple problem these people have is they cannot keep up with the system. Well, the system is in many ways a corrupt system, and its religions are corrupt, and therefore they simply take from people. I'll never forget one time, and it was some years ago when this church first started. And we have always looked not to give anybody a handout, but to help people and to really give good things, the groceries, and food. I mean, really nice things, the kind of things you'd go and you come out of the shop right with. And this fella came to us and he said, I went to one of the big churches around here, and you know what they put on the back? Remember, on the back door, they left for him on the back porch a box of, what is those, crispy crackers and a jar of peanut butter. And they thousands upon thousands of dollars. Say. Well, that's Antichrist. Because Jesus is not involved in that kind of thing. Say. And so what we have to then be willing to do is investigate and read these things, because these things as you learn them, and these things as you run away from your fear of meditation, will lift you above those places. It will lift people into a place of salvation out of the system and away from religion. But you've got to have the courage to break from those people. So to understand a proverb, the words of the wise and their dark sayings, the Hebrew word Kabbala is from the root QBL, which means to receive. That's where it comes from, QBL, to receive, Kabbala. Now, what it is included in that meaning is the practice of transmitting inner knowledge by mouth. Remember now, this was not written, all oral. Transmitting Inner knowledge by mouth. Go to page 110 in your New Testaments to the book of John, and I want to show you something. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And let's go to John 20, verse 20. Well, I'll get to that. John 20. We'll just stay there right for the moment, okay? And I want to show you something. John 20. Now, watch Jesus here, chapter 20, and let's go to verse 22. And when he had said this, what did he do? He breathed on them and said unto them, receive. See the word? Receive. Kabbala. Receive the Holy Spirit. In other words, they received the anointing by mouth. That's Kabbala. That's what it means. QBL, okay? And also in the same way, when he breathed on them, remember when Abraham's name was changed to Abraham? Receive that which is the pneuma, that which is the breath, that which is the Spirit. So here then, we begin to see, and of course there's no question about it, that Jesus was very, very familiar with the Kabbala, because the Kabbala, through Zoroastrianism, was the originator of you must eat my body and drink my blood. That was not original with Jesus Christ. That came out of the Kabbala. Long before Jesus walked the face of the earth, that was written in the Kabbala, you must eat my body and drink my flesh. And so he was very, very, very aware of the Kabbala. Okay? So in Matthew 13:13, I want to show you something of what Jesus did. On page 13 in your New Testament, Matthew 13, verse 13. Okay? Matthew 13, verse 13. Here's Jesus Christ now speaking, and I'm coming to you and trying to share with you why you cannot look at the Bible literally, why you cannot look at the statements of Jesus literally, because you've got to get to the point of believing the man himself. Okay? Therefore, speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. Now, a parable then, in the same way as crucifixion, all of these things have to be understood by way of the Spirit. They have to be understood via meditation. Jesus deliberately spoke in these strange parables simply because people would not respond in any way, shape, or form to this message. They couldn't bear to hear it. So they had to receive it spiritually. They had to meditate on it in order to receive the answers to it. If you'll note that in Matthew 13, okay, where we're at, let's go down to verse 15. Because these people's heart is waxed gross, and their eyes are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed. Do you see that? God didn't close their eyes. They closed them. And look at, lest any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and look at the next one, should understand with their heart.
All right, that's where I'm going to end. That's where I'm going to end for today on this, but I think I might do some more tomorrow. Awesome stuff. Just get you going, and UFO news will be up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Alrighty, Dirk. Thank you very much. Today I have 6 stories. Story number 1 comes to us from our favorite volcano, Volcano P. I've been practicing this name here, Popocatépetl. Popocatépetl. This is an amazing catch of a cross-like UFO that is also caught cloaking on a live cam. The footage was recorded at 13:53:50 or 1:53 p.m. UFOs have been caught near or around this volcano for many years. I myself have recorded 3 to 4 videos of these strange but cool UFOs over Popocatépetl. This particular catch was by a reader of ours at UFO Sightings Daily who alerted us to the video he made and placed on YouTube. Outstanding catch, and at this rate it won't be long before contact is made. Alright, let me back this up again here. All the way back. Right there. See it? Can't miss it. And it kind of phases out, phases in. And then look at that. It is gone. Invisible. Alright? Onward to the next story. Next one here is a story that takes us above Texas, Clute, Texas, November 1st. This is a new amazing footage of a strange UFO light recorded above the sky of Clute, Texas. There we go right there. Check that one out. Most interesting indeed. Okay, we've seen more of these lately, haven't we? We have seen more of those. And when you listen to the video, you can hear the kid saying, "It looks like a UFO," and you hear the father say, "Oh no, it's just a plane." You know, the big problem is people are so conditioned not to believe what they see with their own eyes that they'll like doubt themselves. We need to stop that. You need to trust your eyes, trust what you see, avoid the lies. Next here we go to Taylor's Hill, Victoria, Australia. These are two new videos of fast, unidentified objects flying across the sky above Taylor's Hill, a suburb of Melbourne in Victoria, Australia, 25 kilometers northwest of Melbourne's central business district. This was on the 1st and the 4th, okay? So we get a lot of good footage over Australia. Here's some more. You can see it moving through the clouds. See right there? In that area there. All right? So you can check this one out. The link's available, firstcontactradio.com. And then we're going to go from Texas, or Australia, to Spain. Spain, it says, this is a moment when a man records a flying saucer being his farm, and suddenly a huge tubular-shaped UFO appears very low to the surface and disappears, while another, here it is right there, appears from within the air, and a speeding object shooting from it. Okay, this is a 1 and 40-second long video. And you could see there's the object right there. And you could see there's something really fast just shot by it, okay? So links available so you can check it out. There's another one right up there. Let me freeze this. Got the one right there. And then look at this one right here. So we got two things going on up there. Most interesting. There they are. Next, we have Hollywood Boulevard, or not Hollywood Boulevard, but a street cam in Hollywood. Let me come where they caught some UFOs here. Let me come back to that one because I don't like those commercials. And here, what we have here is this comes to us from Educating Humanity. It says, "Don't be alarmed, but you have alien DNA in your genetic code. Science says so." So science from Kazakhstan believed that human DNA was encoded with an extraterrestrial signal by an ancient alien civilization. They call it the biological SETI, and the researchers claim that the mathematical code in human DNA cannot be explained by evolution. In a nutshell, we're living, breathing vessels of some kind of alien message which is more easily used to distract extraterrestrial life than other radio transmission. Once fixed, the code might stay unchanged over cosmological timescales. In fact, it is the most durable construct known, the researchers wrote in a scientific journal Icarus. Therefore, it represents an exceptionally reliable storage for intelligent information. Once the genome is appropriately rewritten with the new code with a signature, will stay frozen in the cell and its progeny, which might then be delivered through space and time. The scientists also claim that human DNA is ordered so precisely that it reveals an ensemble of arithmetic and ideological patterns of symbolical language. The research has led scientists to conclude that we were invented outside the solar system already several billion years ago. The thesis supports the hypothesis that Earth is a result of interstellar life forms distributed by meteors and comets. So if we are just vessels for alien communication, exactly what kind of secret message are we carrying in our DNA? And if we were the creation of aliens, who created them? Well, it's easy. God. God made the aliens. God made everyone. God made the aliens. Let's all get along. All right. Here we go back to our Hollywood video here. All right. This is Hollywood. And right back here is where you're going to see an object kind of similar to the one that was not too long ago. Just a couple. One Michigan, was it? Or no, Texas. Okay. And you're going to see this. And this is captured on a street cam. This looks like, I think this is Hollywood Boulevard here. This object is right over here. Alright, you can just see it. If you enlarge the screen, you can see it much better as it's just moving across. Alright, So the link's available so you can check it out. Enlarge the screen and you'll see what I mean. Alright, that's our UFO news. Let me jump away, and then boy do I have some stories for you, so don't go away because I'm going to show you how Americans are being played. Alright? Stay tuned.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid.
Alright, I'm back. So, by now, you have heard about the event that took place at the LAX airport, right? Well, I'm going to show you some things that if you haven't already seen them, you're going to be made privy to right now to show you that what happened there was at least partly staged event, okay? So let's get going here because there's a lot of information. First thing we have here is this Mail Online surveillance footage shows the chilling moment. LAX gunman Paul, and I want you to look at his name here. It's CIA and CIA. First clue right there. CIA and CIA. That's kind of suspicious that we see that right off the bat, but let's continue on. We don't want to just take one thing by itself and say that's the whole reason for there's something weird. It says Paul Ciancia shoots a TSA agent and then returns to finish him off. So this is what the guy looks like, right? Okay. And this is the gentleman who was shot and killed, or we're told was shot and killed. And is this his wife here? I believe this is her wife, who, from what I'm understanding, works with Warner Brothers. There's an article out there. She works with Warner Brothers in the publicity department or something of that nature. It's always sad when someone gets killed. And this is an FBI agent. I want you to remember him. FBI agent who's here, Special Agent David Bowich, who's on the left. And they're giving a little discussion about this. What you see here is passengers or people running out of the airport. They're running out of an airport, as you'll see momentarily, because a couple of policemen came in and, well, basically told them to get out, to lay down, to run, caused the chaos. There wasn't any chaos till the policemen got there, and then look at that. All right, and then here's the victim who's in critical care, but even though he's in critical care, and he was shot in the mouth, he still has the presence to be able to hold his thing over to get oxygen. Okay? So, look at that. And then go. I want you to remember this. This is the guy. All right? This is the guy they're showing. This is the guy who they say was the shooter. Okay? All right. So now, and then, as you know, when the people left, they were told to drop their things. The sheeple were told to drop their bags and leave them, and the sheeple did. Bah, what do we have to do? How do we do things? Tell us. Okay? All right. And here's a guy who was allegedly shot. See, he was shot. More TSA officers. All right. Now. All right. Let me move on to the next story here. This here is a copy of when the people were running out. And I want you to make note of what happens right at the beginning. Okay? Everything is calm at the beginning. Everything is calm at the beginning, and it only gets crazy once the policemen arrive. Let me just play a portion of this for you. Here we go. Okay, it's calm right now. Okay? It's calm, right? Nobody looks like there's any issues. People are walking from the back terminal here. There doesn't seem to be any problem going on. However, things are about to change. Where? Anyone on the floor! On the floor! Now! So now we got the cop yelling at people. Get on the floor. Kind of sounds like someone robbing a bank, doesn't it? Again, calmness, no problems. Everyone walks in calmly. And then suddenly, everybody on the floor. And then what ensues from there is running.
It's
so
just crazy as
people run.
Oh yeah, YouTube that chill.
Because wait, there's more. There's more. Okay, so we saw the police coming in. Now, what we have in this shot here is there were a lot of descriptions that were given about this gunman. The descriptions that were given that he was in camo or he was wearing blue. Okay, blue or camo, or even some said black. Here is someone who claims to be an eyewitness. Now, initial reports came out and said this man was a member of the TSA. Here is a witness, an eyewitness. I've fast forwarded ahead in this video to show you, or so you can hear what this witness had to say.
So it was a long gun, though, perhaps a semi-automatic rifle of some sort.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
And what did he look like, and how was he dressed?
He was dressed in like navy blue dark clothing. It almost looked like he was an employee of the airport. And then you know, he was a tall white guy, like dirty blonde hair, but more darker. And we pretty much caught eye contact. He was like around 50 to 75 yards away from me, and it was just me and this other guy with the blue shirt. And once I didn't feel I was immediate danger because he wasn't pointing the gun. He was just walking around sort of dazed. But then once we sort of like looked into he looked in our direction, and that's when I just left. I didn't want to stick around after that.
How soon after you saw him?
Okay, there you go. So you heard the description, blue or black. And some of the other reports were camouflage. He thought that he worked at the hotel. I mean, he meant the airport, right? It's easy to get airport and hotel confused, especially in a situation like this, but nonetheless. And then as you can see from this footage here, you could see the craziness, how the sheeple were pushed around and moved around, you know, made to walk. I mean, look at this. All the sheeple are having to walk around and mingle around. What do we do? Okay, craziness, crazy situation. But wait, there's more. There's a whole bunch more. And we had a police officer who was in charge of this investigation, or one of them that was working with this, and he's going to talk about how they were able to respond so well to this incident. And I want you to notice behind this officer's right shoulder, you will see the same FBI agent that was in the other picture I showed you, okay? So let's check this out here.
Things unfold so rapidly, and many people come in. There's always chaos in any type of event like this, and there's always everybody's always thinking forward.
Okay, first of all, here's the FBI agent right here. Okay, now continue listening.
As to whether or not there's additional suspects. As we stand here right now, there is only one individual that is responsible for this, as we know, as that active shooter that was in our terminal. And I want to follow up a little bit on what the mayor said regarding the officers that went in after this individual. This individual was shooting as he went into the terminal. The officers didn't. I repeat, they didn't hesitate. They went after this individual, and they confronted this individual in our airport. And unfortunately, an officer involved shooting. But that's what needed to be done in that particular situation, and that was heroic. We practiced to this. Not more than 3 weeks ago, we took every one of our officers, our patrol officers, and a couple of hundred officers from the Los Angeles Police Department, and we practiced the exact scenario that played out today. We played out today, and I was talking to the officer.
Okay, now check it out. Check it out right here. This gentleman, he said, when we practiced this exact scenario that we played out today, and the FBI agent suddenly, oh no, get himself the old face palm. He can't believe he just said the wrong thing. You didn't follow the script, dude. What's going on?
Officers involved in this particular incident.
So, moving on, because there's more. This isn't it. This is not the end of it. So you've seen little bits and pieces, right? Now, what we've got here in this piece, well, this one is crazy, okay? This is CBS News. You can see, here's the CBS News logo. This is the copter. And this is footage of what went on that day. I want you to pay real close attention. You're going to see something here momentarily that's going to make you wonder what the heck this is doing here. Here we go.
3 paramedics assisted the wounded, including this TSA officer, who appeared to be unconscious. Wounded, including...
Okay. Anything you notice about this TSA agent that appears to be unconscious? It's a mannequin. It's a dummy. Look at this. Look at the way its legs hanging off over here. This person was supposedly shot, and this is how they're transporting this person. There's no blood on this person who was shot. And look, let me play a little bit more. Just look at this.
TSA officer, wounded.
Okay? Dummy. Look at the arm. Look how the arm moves. Okay? This isn't a real person. This is a dummy. It is a dummy. One of those practice mannequins. So the question is, why was there a dummy out there, and why is CBS News saying that this is a TSA agent that was shot, and why is that dummy wearing the uniform of a TSA agent? You start to put all the pieces together. You got the officer who's talking about the event that went on and how that they had practiced 3 weeks ago. Then you got the dummy. But wait, there's more. There's a whole lot more yet. Now, here's an article. It says, first shot of TSA killer. Okay? Now, here, we're going to go back, and I want you to refresh your memory. This is the guy. This is the guy they're saying did it. Okay? This is the guy that they're saying did it right there. I want you to get a good look at him, because in this next picture here, if we scroll down, it's going to show an image of the guy that was shot. Okay? They got him. Here's the photograph. Now, I want you to remember, how did they describe the guy that was shot? He's described him in blue or black. Said he thought he was a TSA agent. They also described him as some described him as in camo. Some said he was wearing a bulletproof vest. Okay, you got all those descriptions, and you've seen a picture of him. Let me show you one more time the picture of this guy, right? Now, we're told that he was shot here in the mouth. Shot through the mouth. Okay, here we go. And this picture is a little bit graphic. I'm just giving you a little heads up on that. But this is the picture they're saying of that guy dressed in blue, black, or camo that was shot in the mouth. There it is, folks. That is the picture. Now, does that look anything like the picture you just saw right here? Does that look like this? Look at this blood, okay? This is not looking like real blood. Look at the way this guy's arms twisted around here, and, you know, he was shot in the face, but we don't look like, you know, there should be more blood over here. This looks, again, like another one of those mannequins. Even the way his eyes, look at the way his eyes are in this picture. It's a very bizarre picture, but there's nothing about this other than his shoes that happen to be blue or black. There's nothing camouflage about this guy. There's no bulletproof vest. This guy is not the same as that guy, okay? Even if we go down here and we look at the guy where they have a body shot here where you could see that guy and that guy are not the same. Okay? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things doesn't belong. Remember that song? Well, okay. So, question is, why would they do this? It's because they want to impose more restrictions on travelers. So let me get to this one right here. And what we have is, look at this. TSA will now pre-screen your taxes, car registration, passport, employment history, and more. Oh no. Travelers are now being subjected to even more invasive screening procedures by the infamous TSA. Before allowing people to travel, the TSA is performing unwarranted checks on a wide variety of personal documents, going further than ever before into the lives of innocent passengers. And what they want to check is private employment history, vehicle registration, travel history, property ownership records, travel, physical characteristics, tax ID numbers, past travel itineraries, law enforcement information, intelligent information, passport numbers, frequent flyer information, and other identifiers linked to the DHS database. Wow, look at that. So, they want to arm the TSA. They're giving them all these more rights, all because they had this drill, Urban Shield, that was going on in California, and this happened. Well, What else was going on when this was happening? What was Obama doing during this time? Well, look at this. Obama uses executive order in sweeping takeover of nations' climate change policies. Through the stroke of a pen, President Obama on Friday used his executive powers to elevate and take control of climate change policies in an attempt to streamline sustainability initiatives and potentially skirt legal oversight and push a federal agenda on states. Uh-oh. Again, Obama is doing things while people are distracted, just like when he signed the National Defense Authorization Act on New Year's Eve while people are out partying, celebrating the end of a year. He signed a bill to basically imprison Americans without trial or anything of that nature indefinitely. So there's problems going on. Big problems. Big problems need to be dealt with and fixed and so on. Well, there are signs in the world that there is really challenges about this, okay? And I showed you the picture of Mount Rushmore that looked like it was crying. Well, here we have a situation. This is the famous St. Michael icon in Rhodes, Greece. And it's crying.
Filled with tears, signaling that something big is going to happen. Local clergy are taking the tears in cotton swabs and giving them to the people. The church should act immediately by calling for a worldwide sacrifice to fast, pray, and wear a sackcloth for 3 days. As Jonah did in Nineveh, we need to send a warning. And if the church does not make this move, then we, the lay people, are asking you to do it. Putting on a sackcloth means wearing modest and humble clothing. Thank you for your quick response. Let us begin Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay, so there we have now St. Michael crying. We're seeing more things that are kind of weird and strange as things get crazy in the world. So, are you putting the pieces together? I hope so. I hope you're understanding. People are being played. What happened the other day is it's incredible, and most people are unaware of it. Unaware of it. But yet, I've been telling everybody, look up LAX dummy. Dummy at LAX. Look it up. And then ask, why was there a dummy at LAX? And why was CBS News saying that this was a TSA agent was shot? Why was the dummy wearing a TSA uniform? And why was he being rushed to an ambulance? And why was that footage edited in to the other footage? Perhaps was this part of a drill that took place a couple weeks ago and they edited it in? And if so, why? What are they trying to do? Doesn't make sense. Okay, but we have pictures that are crying, pictures of saints. We have pictures that are showing up that looks like our national monuments. The Mount Rushmore is crying. One thing after another, folks. Something's going on we need to pay attention to. Now, turning our attention to Comet ISON, here we have an article from space.com. Says promising comet ISON gives perplexing performance en route to the sun. With just 1 month to go before its dramatic solar rendezvous, skirting to a hair's breadth on the surface of the sun, Comet ISON continues to befuddle observers with its performance en route to the sun. Based on a compilation of Comet ISON observations from observers worldwide as of October 24th, the comet, once proclaimed as possibly the comet of the century, was running approximately 1.3 magnitude or 3.3 times fainter than the official brightness forecast issued by the Minor Planet Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts. As the comet comes down the home stretch of its long journey before finally grazing within 730,000 miles, or 1.2 million kilometers of the sun, great uncertainty continues regarding whether or not it will remain disappointingly dim or whether it will end up evolving into a spectacularly bright object. Carl Herrenrother of the Lunar and Planetary Laboratory in Tucson, Arizona, noted that part of the uncertainty is due to the wavelengths that the comet is observed in. Visual and CCDV observations do show a comet that is brightening at a normal rate, perhaps even faster than normal for a dynamically new comet. All right, so the article's available. I'm going to jump on here. Here's some more Comet ISON information. This comes to us from Thor News. So we're going to jump to this momentarily here. Once we get past this commercial, because I don't like the commercials, and I don't think you need to see them either. Right? You see enough commercials. All right, this is Thor News, and this is all about Comet ISON, his latest. Is Comet ISON really a comet? That is the question being asked here.
A Thor News presentation. Thor News presents Comet C2012 S1 ISON, and WTF Earth. Seriously, bro.
Part 41. Is Comet ISON really a comet? If it walks like a duck, talks like a ventriloquist dummy, and acts like a dragon, obviously it's a dirty snowball. WTF are you talking about, everybody else? Apparently I called it a jet rink too fast. And then apparently I said it was just a comet too fast. Now we have one of the absolute top respected comet scientists in the world saying that Comet ISON is not really acting like a comet. It's not acting like a fluffy, cuddly comet. It is acting more like a solid body. Now, some people have said that it appears to be a comet within a comet, and a comet within a comet is not a comet. Like if you have a horse within a horse, it's not a horse. If you have a car within a car, it's not a car. It would either be a horse, or car. So maybe ISON's a comet? No. Things we know about ISON that are abnormal. 1, it's only rotating on one of its poles. 2, it's brightening, non-brightening. Brightening seems to be confounding everyone and breaking the natural laws of comet brightening. In today's super lazy mainstream media / journalist, and I use that word journalist very lightly, they all use the same story, basically cut and paste from the AP, I guess, and they describe it in different ways. For example, the Huffington Post says, Comet ISON photo shows downright weird space rock en route to the sun. NBC describes it as observers perplexed by Comet ISON's erratic performance. And Space.com describes it as promising Comet ISON gives perplexing performance en route to the sun. And as I said, this is all basically, everybody uses the same article. And there's a single quote in here that caused everybody to kind of flip out. Quotes by John Bortle sent everybody into a frenzied tizzy, as he stated, at this stage of the game, with the comet about to cross the orbit of Earth, I cannot recall any previous comet in my 50+ years of comet observing looking quite like this. So what does ISON's current look foretell or mean? I honestly don't know. All I can say is I don't like the odd look of it at this time. I don't like the odd look of it at this time. That sounds kind of doomy, and where I totally respect and appreciate an actual accredited, respected scientist sticking his neck out, having some balls, and saying, yeah, okay, this thing's acting weird, I am mildly disappointed that he doesn't go into all the things that make Comet ISON a little different than other comets, other than its appearance. About a week ago, Comet ISON champion Bruce Gary stated, I don't know what's going on with this comet. And it says here, analyzing all the observations made since September 4th show that ISON is responding to the sun more like a solid body would respond rather than as a typical fluffy comet. Alright, so that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. This story that's never boring just got a little more exciting. Now, the more I think about it, and it was on my quest to call it a jet rink, where that science seems to define everything in our solar system in 5 categories: the sun, planets, asteroid, comet, or moon. Planet, planetoids, there's not much difference. And then they just put dwarf in front of everything. Now that kind of feels like oversimplification, if you want to ask me. And technically, I'm going to say that by the fact that you are watching this video, you are technically asking me, what is going on? And I'll still say I don't know, except for things are weird. And also, I want to mention that often people ask me about discussing Comet ISON and what effect it had on planet Mars. But I don't know, and there's no way for me to verify what did or did not happen. So even though I like to get all wacky, crazy, and speculation, I mean, if I had no idea, then I just best not comment on it. So it's a no comment. I don't know what happened. The people who know what happened ain't talking. All right. Okay, so what do we know? We do know that the sun is totally, absolutely freaking out, man. With over 20 eruptions in 3.5 days between October 25th and the 28th. Some being flares, some being coronal mass ejections, and at least one was a prominent eruption. We know that the sun is totally freaking out. Now, a lot of people might say, hey, dude, that's just the normal, minimal, maximal, double-peaked solar maximum of 2012, 2013, 2014. You know, it always does that. But those people are crazy. So we know that for some reason, the sun's freaking out, acting abnormal. We also know there seem to have been a lot of sun divers lately. And I'm now under the impression that the sun is having a giant party. And all these comets are coming. And we can tell by all the solar activity that they are partying their asteroid and comet asses off. Because having a good time is a good time, if you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to stay tuned to this story, see what happens. I mean, shit, 41 episodes in. Think I'm going to quit now? Heck no. Okay, great. God bless everybody. Stay smart, stay cool, be an awesome astonisher. And I must say, the more unknown is unknown, the more doom potential it has. Nope. Who knows, man? Not me. Okay, great. Appreciate you sticking around. Talk to you soon.
All right, so there you go. That's Thor news for today. That's the latest in Comet ISON, excuse me. And we got another thing we want to look at. Another comet. This here is a video. The object that's been showing up in the western sky. People are saying it's Venus. Well, here we finally got good confirmation and video. It is not Venus, okay? This was from In 5D, and if you go through the video here, you're going to find out it's a 23-minute long video, almost 24 minutes. And during the
camera,
course of this,
see Venus?
As you will see here.
And there's Venus right there in the center.
Venus, and then he shows you the object in the sky. And he shows you that they're both there.
Okay, Venus.
Cannot be Venus.
Venus, okay. And we're going to pan over here. And I'm looking down at this thing. Oh, it moved on us.
Okay.
Just going to have to
So I'm going to leave that link available for you to check it out on your own. Basically, good confirmation it's not Venus. Lots of people taking pictures of this thing, wondering what it is. Check it out. Nighttime sky, just before it gets dark, look southwest. Okay, look southwest. Last night, about 5:10 p.m. in Los Angeles is when I saw it. Check it out, see what it is. It's extremely bright. It's not Venus. It's not one of the planets. Something different. Okay, moving on. Let's jump over to our meditation or the angel message for today. And the angel message is: are you going through a process of emotional healing? Ask for our help to release some of the negative emotions like anger that you have been holding on to. Very good. We don't want to hold on to those emotions because they really don't do us any good to hold on to them. They just create blockages and problems, and we need to let go, let go, let go, and let God. All right, meditation time. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Go ahead and take another deep breath. And exhale again. One more deep breath. And exhale. Let's activate all of the chakras from the bottom of the spine upward, right at the bottom of the spine, and imagine it pooling the energy from the earth, and that chakra being filled with that energy, that lower chakra, that root chakra, grounding you, grounding your energy. And let's imagine the top chakra, the crown chakra on top of your head. And let's imagine light pouring down into this chakra. The chakra is the color violet. And imagine energy coming into that violet chakra from the universe. And now imagine these two energies from above and below making its way towards the center point. The lower chakra moves up from the red to the orange right at the belly button. The one from the root moves, the crown moves down between the two eyes. Indigo is the color of the third eye chakra. And then that energy moves down to the throat, where it becomes blue, and the energy down at the belly button moves up just below the rib cage to the chakra that's yellow in color, solar plexus. And then both from the throat and the solar plexus move into the heart space where we have green. Green is the heart color chakra. Imagine your body filled now and seeing all this multicolored energy going through you. Feel this energy. Connect with this energy, because this energy is you. It is part of the universe around you, and it is part of you because it is the universe that is you as well. Because within you is a universe, and outside of you is a universe. So feel that energy flowing through and allow it to flow over the boundaries of your body and see it forming this egg of protection around you, this light, multicolored protection. And then just send that energy out further around you. Imagine 5 feet, and then 10 feet. And then imagine your whole room filling with this light. And then the light extends outward into your whole home. And from your home into the city, and into the city into the state. And from the state it expands outward to the entire country you're in. And from there around the world. And as we send this energy out, we're reminded there are billions of people on this planet that are good souls, that want good things to happen on this planet. And yet there are a handful who are causing problems. And that handful of problem makers is outnumbered by billions of good souls. And the only reason that the good souls are being manipulated is because they're believing in the conditioning, believing into the lies. So as you send this energy out from your being, from your heart chakra, from your throat chakra, and all the other chakras, imagine this light of truth going out there and opening people's eyes so they no longer are caught up in the lies. Imagine standing on a planet with billions of others whose eyes are open, looking around at what is going on and realizing the illusion that they have been under, realizing the lies that have been told. And in that moment of realization, imagine all of the lies and the liars completely disappear from the planet. Just dissipate, disappear, gone. Simply because the billions of good souls no longer want that kind of energy around. And let us hold that idea in our minds and in our hearts and know that we can wish away the badness. There's too many of us down here to allow so few to run rampant with their tyranny. There are too many good souls that understand the nature of life and love. And so let's just stand on those pillars, my friend, of love, of light. So let's imagine sending love around the world right now. Love down into the earth. Love up into the sky, into the cosmos. Love to the people of the planet, people you've never met, but people that you know are out there, good souls like you. And let's imagine this love going around and transforming everyone. And with open eyes and hearts filled with love, let's just imagine the world as the place that we would like it to be, this beautiful place of peace and love and harmony. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, now and forever. Take another deep breath, my friends. Exhale. And just let out any residual energies that need to go, that you need to let go of. Let your subconscious mind continue on the journey of processing all energies and letting go of all the things you need to let go of today. And let the conscious mind bring in the love energy that you need and continue to send it out as you move through the world. And let's now go ahead and take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. Open your eyes. All right. And we open our eyes, and there we are, my friends. That's it. That is our show for today. That's our meditation, our prayer. Go out into the world, be happy, be healthy, and be whole. That's what we're created to be. All this other nonsense, the lies that you're telling, and the this and that, is just part of the test we're going through. But it should be no surprise to anybody, because the books of prophecy that are out tell us that God's children will be fooled. They'll be trying to deceive you. You must be strong in faith and strong in your convictions to not be fooled. Don't let somebody else tell you what you see with your eyes is wrong. Don't let them doubt yourself. Trust in what you know. trust in God, and if you understand the divinity that lies within you, you're ahead of the game. Keep that belief, keep that faith, and share it with others. That's important, my friends, because where we're going and what we're doing it's all part of the process of change. This is a spiritual battle. It's not a physical one. Physical is where it seems to be when it gets past that spiritual, when people aren't looking to that. But it's a spiritual battle. So let's go to the spirit and let's use the resources we have of light and love to make the changes we need. That's it, my friends. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. Links are available, firstcontactradio.com. I will talk to you soon. Have an awesome day. Love ya. Peace. I'm out of here.